going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bamboo Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Today is Wednesday. It is May 14th. I hope that you are off to a fantastic week. I appreciate you guys joining me inside the comment box. As always, I appreciate to hear where you guys are watching, where you guys are listening to, or listening from inside the comment box. So let me know. Today in Birmingham, you have the Regions Pro-Am. I'm sure you've seen the team reporters talking about the coaches that are there. Coach Saban, I guess we could low-key call him the commissioner of college football. I think that's going to be his future title anyways. And by the way, this is a recent photo today. This was posted by Yay, Alabama. Thumbs up if you think that Coach Saban looks the best that he's ever looked. I'm serious. Does he not look like, if anybody is aging like fine wine, it is Coach Saban? Could I get a thumbs up on Saban? He looks amazing, right? So this was today, and he teed off today at the Regions Pro-Am celebrity portion of the golf tournament, and he teed off with none other than Charles Barkley. Now, I saw a clip on X where Charles Barkley walked over to Coach Kalen DeBoer and was like, he shook his hand and was like, "Welcome to the SEC." He was like, "I can't say this too loud, but you're doing a great job with the program." I thought that was very admirable of Charles Barkley. It was a classy moment, to be honest. So I know Charles Barkley is a polarizing figure, huge Auburn supporter, and rightfully so. But to go over to Coach Kalen DeBoer, I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Coach Saban looks great. And by the way, handicap at 10. Saw him tee off today. There's some footage if you want to go out there and check it out. The next round live has some really good footage of the coaches taking some swings. So you have Coach Saban. He was paired up with Charles Barkley. You had Coach Oates is out there as well. Coach Oates has a golf bag. This is our Fire Wednesday hat they were going off of. So hang on tight. Details coming. But here's Coach Oates, right? So Coach Oates started playing golf, I guess, not too long ago. And he already has a hole-in-one. He got a hole-in-one, I think, there was a tournament here in Tuscaloosa for, like, charity or something like that, and he got a hole-in-one already. So here's his golf swing. Again, the videos, you can go on X and see all the coaches, knocking him down. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer, who has a handicap right now of 18. So it's a little bit higher than, Coach Saban, who's a 10. But I will say this about Coach Kalen DeBoer, okay? We've started to see his gear and kind of his look kind of elevate. You know what? People in the South, they dress. I'm telling you, they he came over here, and the first year he had, like, remember the cargo shorts and, like, baggy shorts? He looks a lot more tightened up now. I like the drip right here, to be honest. This looks good. The shoes look great. He's got the nice Nike golf shoes on. This is much better than last year. He had, like, the cargo shorts. It was a little off. And then you have Coach Saban, of course, with his infamous hat that he wears. All right, let's see who's up inside the comment box. Today we're kind of going over some major topics in college football, and Coach Kalen DeBoer did talk a little bit today about the quarterbacks and about kind of the state of the program. Nothing earth-shattering, but there was a couple, other items, that we'll highlight. Ty Simpson was invited to the Peyton Manning Passing Academy. We'll touch on that. Keelan Russell putting in the work back in the state of Texas. So those are some items we'll hit on today's show. Coach Kalen DeBoer this morning, you can watch the video. I'm sure AL.com will probably have the video feed or Bama Online. But he said this when talked about the quarterbacks. And I'll give you my shout-outs in just a minute. But I thought, look, sometimes you could say it's word salad, whatever. What else is there for him to really say? Ryan Grubb said the most polarizing quote after spring football, and that was, if we had a game this Saturday, it would be Ty Simpson. Now, was that strategic in him saying that? Maybe. But it was also like, if he earned that spot in that title after spring practice, it is what it is. So when asked about the quarterbacks, he said, Coach Kalen DeBoer said this morning at the Regions Pro-Am. He said this: "I think the biggest thing for them," talking about the quarterbacks, "the message to them is they all have to keep getting better," right? Sometimes a simple message is the best message. And that's true, right? These guys have limited experience. And if you really want to look at Alabama's quarterback room, we are excited about what could be, but we really don't know how good any of these quarterbacks are really going to be because they have limited experience. Even Ty Simpson, who's played in 15 games, they've been games that, haven't been significant, okay? He never had to come in for Jalen Milroe over the last 2 seasons and, well, I'm saying save the game, but now I'm thinking, shoot, that South Florida game, he can't. You know what? Ty Simpson saved the day against South Florida. Sometimes we overlook that. But there was a minute where that South Carolina game, when we went into halftime, I didn't know how it would end. So maybe Ty Simpson has saved the day one time. But my point is these quarterbacks don't have a lot of experience. So the simple message is for these guys to keep getting better. I know it sounds obvious, but what else is he supposed to say? It's a simple message, but it is kind of impactful being that the quarterbacks don't have a lot of experience. Let's see who's inside the comment box today. We got Alyssa. What's up? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You don't like the kickoff time? Do we like the kickoff time? Alabama versus Florida State. We'll talk about that on the back end as well. 2:30 Central Time. What do you think? Do we like the kickoff time? Thumbs up if you like the kickoff time. 2:30 Florida State Central Time. ABC. I know you probably would have preferred a night game, right? There was no way it was going to be in the morning. I don't know. I like the game time. I don't know how hot it'll be in Tallahassee at that point in time. Yeah, and that's what Alyssa said. She said that the humidity is literally going to be absolutely terrible, 1,000,000%. All right, Ron, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. Roll Tide forever and always. Herman, what's up, man? Good morning to Kyle and everybody tuning in today on this wonderful Wednesday. Love it. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much, man. Chad Kennedy, what's up, bro? Good to see you inside the comment box as usual. Southern Red, good morning to you. I appreciate you. William, good morning. Jay Boogie, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Did TJ Yeldon retire? I haven't even really checked on much other news other than like kind of Alabama, centric stuff this morning. Robert Bradley, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Enjoy your walk. Get outside. Hear the birds chirping. Todd Tipton, what's up, man? Thanks for joining on board with the morning crew. Larry Large, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. And Antoine, what's up? I love the emoji use. Robert Hell, what's up? Good morning to you. Sean Lilly, same to you. Good morning. Anita, what's up? What's up? King Riz, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Everybody up inside the undefeated, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Today's raffle that we're going off is another $5 entry. So yesterday we did the hat. Chance came away with the hat. We'll send the hat out to you shortly. Chance, congratulations on that. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, bro. Javion Smith, what's up, man? Hey, Warren, I'm going to call you Warren G. Warren Getty up in the comment box. Are you cool with Warren G? It's kind of easy when you listen to the G'd up sound. Pioneer speakers bumping. You guys aren't old enough for that. All right, this is the raffle that we got today. All right. This is the hat. This is a camo hat. This is part of the Alabama Hide the Tide collection. I love the camo stuff. I'm not going to lie. This is the green shirt that I have. You see it weekly. $5 to enter this raffle, okay? 3 times you can enter the raffle. Try to spin the pinwheel on the back of the show, right? If you want to get the gear directly, just go to Athletes Thread. Look for the Hide the Tide camo gear. They got a bunch of stuff that is coming off of Ty Simpson and Bray Hubbard. Those guys linked up with Athletes Thread, and you can get the gear. Yeah, regulators, mount up. That's right. Good. Okay. Yes, I see you guys with the warranty. Good. You know what's still sad is that Nate Dogg passed away. How many years has it been since we lost Nate Dogg? There was nobody that could sing a hook like Nate Dogg, right? The vocals, right? Man, everybody knows regulators, but man, there was some Warren G albums that were just this DJ. I mean, that some of those songs, whew, man, what was that back in like 94, 4th grade? Oh, man. Ron Self's 46, man. So you understand, man. I'm 41 myself. Somebody yesterday was like, man, we understand you're old. Dude, you know what? I like kind of getting to this age. The more you get a little bit of wisdom, the more you grow, right? Man, that's what I'm saying, Javion, with Nate Dogg. Nobody did it better. All right, so to get into the raffle, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Chad, you're in for today. All right, appreciate you, Chad. Thanks for joining the raffle, as always, bro. Yesterday, man, you kicked in for 2 randoms, which we appreciate. Javion was 4 in 1994. Man, yeah, Antoine, 84, man, that's what's up. I'm 83. 11/22/83. Yeah. All right, so we'll come back to this, but this is the raffle today, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Outside of the golf swings, I thought this was a really good quote by Coach Saban. This was today from the Regions Pro-Am. He said this when talking about Alabama going into year 2, right? He says, the players and the organization had to make adjustments. I'm talking about Alabama after he left, right? Can you imagine? And adjustments is probably an understatement because it was like life-changing for all of us and probably the players and the staff and the personnel and the organization when this man left. Life-changing, right? Not just an adjustment. Adjustment is like getting new shoes. And, he's not going to say Coach Saban is, he's not a like he's going to say it in a way so we can understand, but really it was life-changing with him leaving the University of Alabama. So I would say that everybody probably is a little bit more settled in this year. 100%. Think about where we're at from a team standpoint compared to last year. I really felt like, it was such a gravitational impact when Coach Saban left that the team and everybody was kind of really reacting. This year, they're much more proactive, right? Patriot Life, what's up, bro? Thanks for jumping in with the super chat, man. We appreciate you. And I'm not just saying it to say, like, okay, Alabama has everything much more organized. Yes, they do. I mean, think about where we're at. And I know the transfer portal, no guys leaving. That was one of the bigger things. But overall, I mean, you just had one coach that left, wasn't really impactful. No disrespect to Hitchler, but they have everything else in place. You do lose a couple key pieces, specifically on the special teams, but everything else on the offense and defense, we feel good about. We have questions about some of those areas, but not as big as questions that we had last year at this point in time. So Coach Saban, of course, said, and I hope they do very well. One of the things that's been great about Coach Saban, even that as he's been on College Game Day, is, look, he's an Alabama guy. I don't think he's picked against Alabama while he's been on game day. Has he? Could someone run that real quick? And honestly, when you start to look at some of the games, there might be an opportunity for you to pick against Alabama if you're kind of like a college football analyst, but it won't have to happen often this year. Even in the games where Alabama will be on the road, we've talked about it several times where we feel that Alabama will still have the edge. I mean, every single year, and it'll be the same exact thing that happens this year. We will go into this Alabama-Georgia game. Let me ask you this, okay, before I get to that. When we get to that Alabama-Georgia game, who will be the favorite? Who will be the favorite? Who will the underdog be? I'm serious. Who will the underdog be? Daniel's asking how much is Coach Saban getting from his ESPN deal. I think, isn't it like $30 million a year or something like that? Because he was getting 10 as the coach. I think he's getting $30 million plus the sponsorships. So you're right. So Georgia will 100% be the favorite when they play. Those two teams will be undefeated, and Georgia will be the favorite. It's the same thing that we've seen for the last, I don't know, however many times they've played. I don't know why this continues to happen. Even last year, when Georgia came to Tuscaloosa, Georgia was the favorite, right? Ron is like, Georgia will be the favorite and Bama will be the underdog. So we've seen this thing. That's why even when you go into a game like that, I think we've seen in the past that Georgia's kind of had the edge. They've had all this stuff. But they just, I don't know what it is. Alabama seems to perform very well against Georgia, and I think it'll be the same thing this year. Marcus, what's up, bro? I appreciate you, man. We're just getting the show warmed up and going over Coach Saban's comments this morning that he's wishing Alabama, that they do extremely well this year. He's kind of talking about the adjustments after he left last year. And Daniel's right. Look, Georgia fans could come on here and they could say all this stuff, but you could point to the last, what is it, is it really 9 out of 10 times, the last 2 times the teams have played, right? Hey, Chad, I got you in, man. 2 random people and 2 for you. Is that correct? I appreciate you, bro. All right, Chad is in for two random people. I appreciate it, Chad. Thank you so much, bro. I'll choose the random people for the raffle. And you know what will happen if Alabama, somehow I got in this Alabama-Georgia game. If Alabama beats Georgia in Athens, they will gain so much momentum from that victory. It could snowball up until what a lot of people are feeling. And, College Football Live, for example, it asked Grok, right? People have been asking Grok everything. And Grok has Alabama as 11-1. So my point is that Georgia game is pivotal for a lot of different reasons, but I think momentum is one of the biggest things. And whatever transpires in that early season college football showdown could really spur Alabama the rest of the way. That's how significant some of those games are. Now, you do have trap games, and you had trap games last year that you lost. You have to avoid those same pitfalls, right? But this is how Grok, the supercomputer, has everything. Does Grok know ball? College Football Live asked Grok to predict the 2025 SEC football standings, and here's what it spit out. Texas 11-1 and Alabama, those 2 teams playing in the SEC championship game, right? I actually kind of like this. I continue to say that Alabama's schedule will be difficult for many different reasons. Who do they lose to? I don't know. But I kind of like this, to be honest. We've looked at Texas's schedule. I know they go on the road also to Georgia. But I think Alabama's starting to get momentum with a lot of the preseason college football analysts quickly. I don't know, and I'm just like you, the Chat GPT and the Grok and all this stuff that's coming out. I can't really disagree with much right here. It has LSU at 10-2. That's interesting. Florida at 9-3. This all seems pretty good, right? Jay Boogie's calling Vegas right now. Shoot, take out. Look, let me ask you something that is just so crazy. Let's say at the end of the season, you had the opportunity to have these people in the college football playoff committee go in and choose the best so-called 12 teams. Would you rather those people pick them and select them, or would you rather have like a Chat GPT or a Grok? I'm serious here. What if the BCS, remember? What if the BCS, it wasn't that we basically had Grok. What was that, 10, 12 years ago? Where the BCS, you just hit enter and it just spit out the teams. Nicole, what's up? Good morning. Nick Harden, what's going on? I appreciate you being here. I don't know. Maybe Grok. Maybe it's as easy as that. Maybe it's telling Coach Saban, hey, fix the playoffs by just having, going back to some sort of computer system and taking these 20 people out of the room. I don't know. Maybe that solves the playoffs. Playoffs? Bama haters up inside the comment box. Let's see what Bama hater has to say. Nick knows Bama hasn't been relevant since their asterisk COVID natty. Oh, no, Bama hater. Nick is sticking his nose in decision-making to make it easier for Bama to be relevant again. No, that 2020 team, they'd have beat the pants off anybody. That 2020 team was so talented from top to bottom. It was unfortunate that not a lot of people got to see them play because of the limited attendance that year. Now, in terms of Coach Saban going back into college football. I don't think he's going back in to make it easier for Alabama. Right? By the way, though, we do have – look, something did happen to Miami yesterday, and this was it. This comes up kind of at perfect times. We do have to give Bama hater a little bit of props right here because they landed 5-star plus offensive tackle Jackson Cantwell. Okay? So this was a big commitment, massive. But I found it interesting that when Jackson Cantwell, did you see this? This is like the top guy in all the land. He chose Miami. But the thing was, he said that Pete Nakos of On3 was driving a narrative that he just went to Miami for money. And then he said that he went to Miami because Miami laid the most groundwork with him. Who knows? But I think we all know we're in a world of pay to play. Right? I mean, inside the comment box, do you think that Cantwell really went to Miami? You know, look, you could either go up to Oregon with Dan Lanning or Mario Cristobal down in Miami and get the bag. You play, two programs that are going to be in the top 10 every year. How much did he get paid? $4 million? That's what Chris in New Jersey is saying. Did he really get? Do you think he really got $4 million? We'll give Bama hater one more cut in here. Let's see, Kyle. Let's cut to the chase. If Bama goes better than 10-2, I won't be part of the show. If Bama goes 9-3, I can host the show. If Bama goes worse than 9-3, so you're saying like 8-4? I don't know. Ask again next time. Let's shake the 8 ball on that. I like having you on the show, but that is funny. All right. King Riz says he just asked ChatGPT to predict Alabama's 2025 record, and it returned a 10-2 outcome with losses to Georgia and LSU. Okay. Now get specific with it and say why. No, get specific with it and be like, okay, how did they lose to Georgia? How do you see them losing to Georgia? And how the hell did they lose to LSU at home? And if they lost to LSU, was Garrett Nussmeier the quarterback? Because last year, I wasn't impressed with him at all. Southern Red chimes in, and she's like, how about Keelan Russell turning down 6.4 from USC? Is that real? Are those numbers real? Speaking of Keelan Russell, here he was yesterday in Texas, putting in the work. One thing that I noticed from this photo, I always notice things. Things jump off to me. I'm a human being. I notice things. But if you go full screen on this, what do we notice here? I noticed that his stride, look at this stride. He's 6'3". 6'3" what? Is he 210 now? I don't know. I mean, if Southern Red is right that he turned down 6.4 to go to USC, how much did Alabama pay him? Right? Yesterday, actually, I had Keelan Russell in my top 25. I listed him as number 23. I got some feedback that he was a little bit low in the overall rankings. I have 3 freshmen in my top 25 rankings. I have Lazier Brooks, Keelan Russell, and I have Dejon Lee somewhere in there. I think I have him like under 20. Look, the only reason that I didn't move up Keelan Russell within the rankings. Just, he hasn't played at all, right? I don't have Austin Mack inside the top 25, which I kind of regret. And I don't have Yanzi Pierre in there, which I kind of regret as well. But, it's the top 25, whatever. It's preseason. We make some stuff. We miss some stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was low because when you start to see the players that will be ahead of them, I mean, these guys have significant playing time. Doug, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Good morning. I know. I didn't want to, it's tough doing the rankings. And people take the rankings, to heart. They're like, oh, you don't like him. That has nothing to do with it. It's just players on the team that have played a lot of games, significant players, right, coming back for Alabama. This is a loaded team, one of the most loaded rosters in college football, which leads us to this game against Florida State in week 1 where the line is starting to continue to creep up because Alabama has a much better roster than Florida State. You can go to War Chant, which is the pinnacle of Florida State football coverage, and read some of the comments. They understand what's coming to Tuscaloosa. And I think the closer we get to this game, the more confidence that Alabama football fans have against the Seminoles, period. And I think by the time we get into that actual game week, I could probably see that line maybe at 14.5. Ron is saying, what's the prediction for Bama and Florida State? Well, the opening line was 6.5, meaning that Alabama wins by a touchdown. I think right now it is at 11.5. And that climbed after spring, meaning that they're feeling Alabama wins by more than 10. I think it'll creep up to maybe 2 touchdowns. And King Riz back in with some computer information, and ChatGPT just proved why AI isn't the most reliable. It said that we lose to Georgia based off Carson Beck's strong performance. See, that's the thing that I've noticed. When you go to ChatGPT, specifically with football, it has a hard time. Think about this. ChatGPT even has a hard time keeping up with all the roster movements. I'm serious, because they all the transfers and stuff. Carson Beck doesn't even play at Georgia anymore. And that's why, Gunnar Stockton, we don't know how good he's going to be, right? I've been to Tallahassee, and I went to the football stadium, but I saw, the Seminole outside, but it didn't come off as ugly to me. Yeah, I guess, Doug, if you're kind of looking at a couple things why Florida State, kind of going to the opposite side, they have a running quarterback. 2 years ago, Tommy Castellanos for Boston College ran for 1,100 yards, right? Gus Malzahn, he's beat Nick Saban a couple times head-to-head. They got Roydell Williams at running back. I noticed that, remember Earl Little Jr.? He's not even a projected starter this coming year. And Terrence Ferguson, he bounced in the transfer portal. He's gone. Malik Benson, he went there. He's gone. I think, is it Sean Murphy? He still might be over there, but I don't even know if he's playing. I didn't really get Tallahassee being a dirty city when I was there. This was I guess 2017. Maybe things have changed. I don't know. Maybe I remember I went to a couple breweries. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been there. But the kickoff time for Alabama versus Florida State is Saturday, August 30th, 2:30 p.m. Central Time, ABC. Here's some other games that are taking place in that opening weekend. So you got Ohio State and Texas. Love that one. That is up in Columbus, right? That'll be an 11 a.m. kick on Fox. Then you have Syracuse and Tennessee. I guess that will be interesting just because, Tennessee will have a new quarterback. Tennessee's in the SEC. Tennessee beat Alabama last year. Syracuse, pretty good. Alabama, Florida State, 2:30 Central Time. 100% humidity. New quarterback. Two new quarterbacks from the transfer portal going head-to-head. There's a lot of storylines. Two new offensive coordinators, Ryan Grubb versus Gus Malzahn, right? Maybe the turning point is the fact that Alabama has more defensive returners and so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know. LSU and Clemson. Ooh, that's a good one. And that game, I think, is in Death Valley at Clemson. Well, I guess they're each Death Valley. That's a pretty good college football slate. And then we get to watch on Sunday college football, South Carolina and Virginia Tech. On Sunday, Whatever. That's cool. More college football, the better. Here's the hat that we're raffling. This is our latest raffle. We got Chad in here. We got Patriot Live so far. $5 to enter this raffle. This is part of Athletes Thread Hide the Tide. $5 to enter Bama_YouTube, Cash at Bama YouTube. I'll leave it open for a while. We'll roll it over to the next show if we don't hit enough people hitting up today. And I saw some of the other stuff. They have like some hoodies, some jackets, some shirts. I have a little bit of camo into them. I like it. I like this hat. Hey, Byron, what's up, man? I appreciate you. And Byron, I think I got a couple emails from you yesterday, which I appreciate. Thank you so much. And if you have any updates or things you see out there that you think would be good for the show, this is my email, nmpreps@gmail.com. You could email me, and I'll give you a thumbs up or something like that. I get a lot of different emails, but sometimes people send me like stuff on social media that might be worth talking about on the show, which I appreciate. Grok also looked at the ACC. Has SMU once again up in the top 3, Miami and Clemson. Once again, people feel that maybe Clemson. I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday, one of my buddies. If you're watching, Steve, I appreciate it. Hey, we got a super chat in from Ruben. Hey, Ruben, what's up, bro? Thank you so much. And Steve said this to me yesterday. He said that, yeah, Crimson Angel, we got you, bro. I got your email. Steve said that Clemson, I guess, is supposed to have like 6 first-rounders this coming year. So I'd be like completely shocked if they don't make, a really strong run this year. We've been talking about them a lot. Hey, Nick, you're good, man. We see you inside the comment box. All good, bro. We got Ty. Good morning, man. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. And thank you very much again, Ruben, for the super chat. And let's face it, look, the 16-team playoff is coming. Like, this will be 12 this year, and who knows how it'll shake out. I think it'll be controversial this year, and I think it'll cause more of a press from, I don't know, high-ranking officials or Saban and this billionaire from Texas Tech to kind of regroup and try to change things a little bit more going into the 2026 season, which I think will have 2020. Think about this. In 2026, I read that OTAs could be coming. So you'll have kind of spring football, but more spring football. I think the ACC was presented with 21 total days of practice But I don't think spring games will exist anymore. I think there'll be one transfer portal. I think there'll be a 16-team playoff. So college football is still completely changing. Hey, King Riz, what did Bernard say? And Antoine's right. These are the teams that have been really getting hyped up in the preseason. Clemson, okay, playoff team. Notre Dame, playoff team. Penn State, playoff team. Those are 3 playoff teams already. We looked at Penn State's schedule. They'll make it, period. Clemson, they win the ACC. They'll make it. There's 2. Notre Dame, they'll make it. There's 3. Team from the Mountain West, there's 4. Right? SEC champ and the runner-up, 5, 6. There's already 6 spots. I saw this today, too. I think this was put out. I think I put it on here. Jim Dunaway of the Next Round posted his top receivers in the SEC. I thought this was interesting. So the Texas wide receiver is at 4th, Ryan Wingo, right, who's coming back. But he has Cam Coleman number 2. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this list. I think Jim Dunaway has done a great job building up Next Round. All these content creators. I even heard that AJ McCarron is starting his own podcast. That should be cool. But everybody has a show or a podcast. That's just kind of the way that it works now. Who would you say it? And I get it. This is an Alabama football show, but it got me thinking. I was like, who are the top wide receivers in the SEC? Obviously Ryan Williams, but Isaiah Horton or Jeremy Bernard is not on this list. Williams straight up saying inside the comment box, Hollywood for Heisman. Ooh, that sounds nice. Hey, prayers up for you, North Alabama Storm Chase. One wide receiver that I think will probably be added to this by season. I love it, the Aaron Anderson addition, by the way. I think he's wonderful. And does a lot of production that he had last year. 61 receptions, 884 yards. Cam Coleman, really good last year as well for Auburn. 37 receptions, 598. I think that you probably have Isaiah Horton in there as well. And maybe Jeremy Bernard in the top 5 as well. You might go Ryan Williams in no specific order. Ryan Williams, Aaron Anderson, Isaiah. I might put Isaiah Horton number 2. I go Ryan Williams number 1, Isaiah Horton number 2, Aaron Anderson 3, Jeremy Bernard 4. Oh shoot. No. Number 4, I probably go Texas wide receiver, and then Casey Conception's there too. Ooh. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how Casey Concepcion. That's a good addition as well. I don't know. But I think Isaiah Horton should be there, and we can't forget about Jeremy Bernard, of course. I think that Isaiah Horton will have a bigger impact than Jeremy Bernard this year. I think it'll be Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, number 4 wide receiver. I have no idea for Alabama. Either Lazier Brooks or Rico Scott or Cole Adams or Josh Cuevas, I guess. Chad Kennedy inside the comment box says CBS picked Ty and Ryan as one of the top quarterbacks and wide receiver combo this year. JTL points out these are returning wide receivers, Kyle. Like not transfers. Bama hater has it like this. Auburn's wide receiver, then Ryan Williams, and why did Bama schedule Eastern Illinois? Javion is saying, unpopular opinion, but I feel like Isaiah will be number one wide receiver this year. He's going to get a lot of production. 100%. I think that he'll catch for 1,000 yards with Ryan Williams. And see, the way that when you start talking about the wide receivers, I think I have a graphic in here talking about the wide receivers in production, like what they could have. This is a sketch that I came up with. It's going to be hard to get all these guys fed. Right here, these numbers right here, this is 4,100 yards total, right? So, I mean, is Ty Simpson going to throw for 4,000 yards? I don't know. It could be close, but I think that the other quarterbacks are clearly going to have other opportunities to get in, so you might be at that number. So I think if I was to ask you inside the comment box, will Alabama collectively, all of their quarterbacks, throw for over 4,100 yards? I think you'd say yes, right? I mean, if Ty hits 3,500, what, you have 600 yards between Keelan Russell and Austin Mack in different opportunities? Oh, if you want to just purchase the hat directly, go to Athlete's Thread and just type in Alabama football, and the hats and the gear should pop up. And when you go through Athlete's Thread, that gear, I guess like a portion of that money or all that money goes back to the player. I don't know how it works out, but I know that they're officially licensed to sell that merchandise, just like Team Fanatics is. That's why we go through those. You know, we mostly go through Team Fanatics or Athlete's Thread. But I have held right here catching for 400 yards, and I put Rico Scott at 320. And I like to show this graphic because it's just fun to look at. Any type of combination with these wide receivers this coming year is going to be it's going to be a lot. Daniel Adams is saying Lazier Brooks has 5 touchdowns and 600 yards. That would be crazy. I don't think he's going to have that much. It's not like a talent issue. I just think they're going to be feeding other players. But shoot, if you can't stop him, then feed him. He had one hell of a springtime. Damn, Lazier's good. B-Rob inside the comment box says Horton is going to be similar to J-Mo, always going to make plays. You know, and I think because those are two different players, right? Clearly. J-Mo had his speed was ferocious, top end speed, right? Isaiah Horton's a bigger wide receiver. I think he does have good speed. I don't think he has elite level speed, but I think what he did at Miami last year was significant. And I think he would have been wide receiver number 1 if he stayed at Miami and probably caught for 1,200 yards last year or this coming season with Carson Beck. This year, Ryan Williams is clearly number 1 wide receiver, but Isaiah Horton's going to get fed 100%, and it's going to open up these other guys. As you can see, Bernard's going to get more opportunities, Ryan Williams. But I think at the end of the day, it goes Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard. That's what it's looking like, at least to me. I love this photo, this Hide the Tide. And if you guys missed this the other day, I showcased this. I put some animals in here. You can't see the animals too well, but I put a deer in here, and I put this turkey. There's a turkey right here. I know. Talked about Sadarian Morgan. These are some of the topics that we hit on today. We raffled that out. That was dope. The turkey's in the lower left. Look, you guys never found anything? I'll show you guys. All right. I know. So zoom in on your computer screen right now. Okay. Here was the deer up here. Do you see this? All right. And then I put another deer right here. Do you see? And then I put, look, I don't even know if I can zoom. Oh, there you go. This is the turkey. All right. Oh, shoot. That was funny. Camo deer. Yeah, the camo gear is hot. Why does that do that? All right, let me go back. Hold on, I ran into some brief technical difficulties. All right, here we're back. All right, so this is the hat we got. We got a couple people in. We got Chad, we got Patriot Life, Ruben Poole, or we got two randoms from Chad. We got Ruben Poole up in here. So we're going to roll this over into our tomorrow show, which will be our Thursday show. And if you still want to get into the raffle, $5 to enter, Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash at Bama YouTube. Portion of it goes back to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen, which I appreciate. I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. Keep your head on a swivel. News as it happens. Thank you so much for being here today on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting a content creator like me, too, especially during the summertime. It's tough to get through, May, June, and July. So I'm trying, but my goal is to have, daily shows, to be consistent in the performance, to talk about news as it happens, and just kind of let everything else just fall where it lands, So I feel this is the best that I can do, and this is what, I got. So I appreciate you guys. From Rocket Town, Ron Self, Max Tooney, Daniel, King Grizz, Bama Hater, William, Alyssa, Herman, everybody up inside the comment box. Thank you so much for joining me today. News as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We're going to roll this raffle to our Thursday show, and then tomorrow we'll spin the pinwheel. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much one more time. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this beautiful Wednesday, May 14th. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football.